Hi there guys and welcome back to the Red and Blue Site YouTube channel. Time for another Palace Daily. As I said, videos are going to be coming back a lot more regularly now that the season is just a week away for Palace. Of course, Wednesday we've got the first set of fixtures coming back for the Premier League. But for Palace, it is obviously our game away against Bournemouth on Saturday, where things kick off for us after a couple of months out. So I am so excited, as I mentioned in my last video, guys. Videos coming back more regularly, and any suggestions, put it in the comments down below. A lot of you seem to be in favour of me for the remaining games of the season. Of course, all of them are going to be live, and I'm very fortunate that I've got the ability to watch all the Palace games so far on different platforms. So yeah, I think that what I'm going to be doing for them is a live watch along. I think that is probably the best thing to do. A lot of you seem to be in favour of that. It's because obviously I can't vlog the games because I'm not going to be at the ground. No one's going to be at the ground. So it's looking like a watch along sort of vibe is going to be happening from now to the end of the season. If you do like that idea or think that I should do something else, or if there are any other video ideas in general, guys, obviously put them in the comments below. I read all the comments and give a thumbs up on the video as well. But today, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, it is going to be focusing a bit on the academy players at Palace. Now, my reason, this as always with Palace Daily videos, if you're not too familiar with the format by now, 60 odd episodes in, it's basically thoughts on Palace that come to my mind, normally daily or a few days in the past, for example, and it will stay on my mind, and and if it stays on my mind long enough and I think it's something that's worth talking about, of course I put it out onto the channel for you to discuss with fellow Palace fans or opposition fans, and to get people's thoughts and to see what the general thoughts are on the fan base on a certain topic. So for me, I've been thinking a lot about Roy Hodgson's comments recently, which has been that he's going to give the youth players some chances, some game time in the run into the end of the season. And that's something that I think a lot of Palace fans, I know for me personally, I'm very happy to hear that. And I'm sure a lot of Palace fans watching this are as well, because we know we've got such a plethora of talent in the academy. Wan-Bissaka coming out of nowhere is a great example. He's one of many players who have that sort of ability and are just waiting patiently to get that chance, to get that potential 1 or 2 game run in the first 11 to show what they can do. To an extent, Brandon Pierrick earlier in the season, when we had a few injuries, showed that as well. Off the bench, I think he was crucial in our equalising goal against Norwich, and we probably should have gone on to win that game. So players like Pierrick are starting to, and Wan-Bissaka, of course, previously, are players that show that, they don't need much game time to show what they're worth. And so this is music, not just to fans' ears, but obviously to the academy and the players' ears, to know that they probably will get some game time in the run-in if Roy is true to his word, which we all hope he is. So I wanted to just touch on a few players who I'm personally very excited to and have my fingers crossed that we're going to get to see play. A few of them being long overdue. Some others are players that have been knocking on the door of at least getting in the first team squad, but haven't had game time either. So a couple of the players, first of all, Nia Kirby. I think he's at the top of my list, along with a couple of others that I will mention soon. Nia Kirby, I mean, he's won the World Cup at under 17 level, under 19 level, being an absolute hero for the academy level for Palace, been dominating the games, had a very good loan spell at Blackpool as well last season. I think he's a player that is literally, he's so unfortunate that we're in the Premier League and we always tend to be in a relegation battle, because that's why I think some of these players aren't getting the game time that, or at least getting a look in that they probably deserve based on their performances at academy level and out on loan. Nia Kirby, can he make the step up? Well, we won't know unless we give him the game time. And I think if we go off on a bit of a rough start when we come back, and any chance of a top 8 finish is out long gone, then I think we will see these players start coming in. And Nia Kirby in that role where Max Meyer hasn't really nailed down his position there, as we all know. That spot that Punchin used to dominate in, well, I say dominate, but he used to be a first team player, one of the first names on the team sheet, captain of the club as well. That sort of position right behind the striker, when we are playing with one centre forward and someone a little bit playing just behind him, Nia Kirby could fit in there quite easily if he plays to the ability that I think a lot of the academy coaches and a lot of the players and the coaching staff for the first team have seen him play. I think he could definitely fit in there. Nye Kirby, one of the first names that I'm really excited to potentially be seeing from now to the end of the season. Next one, of course, is Tyreek Mitchell, out with a long injury. We saw glimpses of what he could be like in the pre-season tour in Scandinavia way back in, what was it now, almost a year ago. I think it was June, July, we were out there. Did very well, got injured just after that, and I know that in a pre-season tour there's only so much you can take away from it, but when you look at the lack of depth at left back, just Van Arnholt really playing there. Schlupp under Roy Hodgson plays more of a centre mid role. We're desperate for another left back also to push Van Arnholt on, and he's just turned 30, Van Arnholt, so to get him a bit of a kick up the arse and to have that bit of rivalry in the team, to push all the players in each position on to keep their levels up and to not slack at all, and that's really important that helps build consistency. And that's been a problem with us definitely in the last few seasons, where we go on good runs and then really bad runs out of the blue. And I think having good players or young hungry players in positions where we're lacking squad depth really will not just help the senior players, the senior pros, keep their levels up, it will help the team perform at a more consistent level too. Tyreek Mitchell, very similar traits to Wan-Bissaka, definitely looking forward to watching him. Hopefully he will play. Again, these are all fingers crossed moments for me, but these four players that I'm about to mention, or have mentioned two already, are definitely players that I really want to see play. Next one, of course, is someone who we've seen play already, but I'm hoping will get more game time now that Roy has come out with his statement. And that is of Brandon Pierrick. I've already mentioned him. Definitely a player who looks like he played in that New Year period where we had a lot of fixtures. There was a lot of pressure, not just on him, but on the team. We went through, I know we didn't gain many points and we were dropping slightly down the table. We got a lot of draws. Not too many wins, but we went on an unbeaten run, a decent unbeaten run during that Christmas period. I think we only lost one game, did pick up a lot of draws, as I mentioned, and in the end we didn't really move too far up the table. But to go so many games without a defeat during that busy Christmas New Year period, and him being in that team and featuring and getting game time in the trickiest part of the season, if he can do it in the trickiest part of the season, what can he do when there's a bit less pressure on the team, a bit less pressure on him when he comes off the bench or starts maybe even. It'll be interesting to see what he can do. The potential the guy has is definitely up there, and when Wilf does eventually go, it's not going to be a quick fix. With the money that we'll get from Wilf when he does eventually go, it's probably going to take time to then get the suitable replacement for him. And in that time, we may need someone like Pierrick to slot in for 2 or 3 games until a signing's made or something like that. Or when Townsend, he's been injured every now and then, he is out with an injury, he may need to slot in for Townsend. So Pierrick's one, and also my final one, and one that I didn't know too much about. I'll hold my hands up, but I know that he has been putting in some fantastic performances as captain of the under-23s at centre-back, absolute dominating performances. Someone that I think would be really interesting to see. Sam Wood, honourable mention. We've seen glimpses of him, but for me, J. Rich Bagaloo, absolutely towering centre-back for the under-23s. If you haven't seen any of his highlights, obviously check out the Crystal Palace social media and obviously his social media as well on Twitter and stuff. There's highlights of his performances at centre-back. Looks like a real leader, real potential there for a captain of the future. And as I mentioned before, centre-back, we've got some great centre-backs at the moment, good depth, but Saka looks like he could be on the way out. Cahill, as much as we love him, will only be here for a couple of seasons at his age, unfortunately. Tompkins injured a lot. How long will he stay in the side? Kelly is just a backup at the end of the day. He's not a dead starter. As much as I love him and as much as he is a reliable player, he's not a starter. J. Rich Bagaloo looks like a player that, if he keeps playing the way he is and gets potentially a run out from now to the end of the season, he could really make a claim to get in. Maybe not in the first team, maybe there's too many players ahead of him to do that, but he'll be definitely knocking on Roy Hodgson's door, and I think he'll be causing Roy a few a few more decisions to make, you know, going into next season if he continues the way he is. So those 4 players are the ones I'm looking out for: Nia Kirby, Brandon Pierrick, Tyreek Mitchell and Jay Rich Bagaloo. I think those 4 players have got a great shout of getting into the first team for some game time. Let me know your thoughts down below. How excited are you with the potential of seeing some Palace Academy prospects get some decent game time in the team? What are your thoughts and predictions going into this game? We've got 5 days, I should say, until the Bournemouth game. Your thoughts from now to the end of the season. Where do you think we'll finish? And do you think we'll, of course, get these youngsters in the team and involved in some first team Premier League matches? I'm really excited for it. Love doing this video as always. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.